Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, it's time for another episode of the 359 podcast. It's Thursday, September 29th, episode 115 with Roger Chang and Ben Fox Rubin.
On the way
hello.
Episode 200. We're getting there.
We're at 115, dude. Cool your horses.
Hey.
I was just going to compliment Brian on that intro, which we weren't expecting.
Well done.
Awesome intro.
You can't put Super Friends in the title and not expect that.
Yes.
That's right. And we are super friends here in the room.
No, we're not. We're not actually friends at all. Once the show ends, we walk off in silence.
Roger scowls at me.
Just get back to work.
I don't have to deal with you anymore.
Get back to work. No, happy Thursday. The week has flown by. Last show of the week.
Yeah, God.
All right, so we've got a bunch of stories, awesome stories to talk about. We've got AI Super Friends.
Yeah.
Our resident AI expert, Ben, will...
I am this week, apparently.
This week, you are.
Yeah.
We'll talk a bit about this unique partnership with some of the big heavyweights in tech.
Just announced late yesterday.
That seems...
Just announced.
That seems a little
yesterday.
contradictory, but okay. We're also going to be talking about more explosive Samsung news, but not the Note 7. Something else that Samsung makes.
Poor guys.
Yeah,
can't catch a break.
They really can't. And lastly, we'll talk about Tinder Boost.
Yes. We were joking around before. Two married men talking about Tinder.
Yes.
We will gamely try to pretend we know what Tinder is.
You've got a girlfriend. You're taken.
That you met on Tinder.
No.
Right?
No.
So really three experts of Tinder talking about Tinder.
Actually,
yes, I'm taking note of Tinder in case she ever actually stumbles upon this.
I've only seen screenshots of Tinder. When people that's the problem is when people mention swipe left, I'm like, is that the good one or the bad one?
I think
don't even
the
know.
Bad one. Right? No, swipe shoot.
The hell do I know?
I think swipe right's the good one.
Anybody want to tell us?
Dang it.
I'm sure people know.
Showing our ignorance. Well, look, we've got an interesting angle. Our own Aaron Carson wrote up the story and compared it to Pokemon Go.
Hey, you're giving everybody the show.
I know,
a
topic that we can discuss, though. So
sure.
We'll get into it. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Brian, our producer, will pick out the best, and we will do our best to answer them.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll start recording in 3, 2.
Welcome to the 359, where we talk about the top tech news of the day and all the other crap we want to throw in. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
So the big tech heavyweights are getting serious about AI. So serious, in fact, that Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, and IBM are putting aside their differences and forming a partnership to push the AI agenda. So, Ben, is this the start of Skynet, and should I just prepare my bunker now?
No, dear God, no. Absolutely not. I think, so I was at an AI conference earlier this week, and if anything, the primary takeaway that I had was, even though AI sounds like this really interesting idea, and Hollywood, unfortunately, has really poisoned the well with making everybody think that AI is just going to kill us and steal our jobs.
But it's just fodder for so many great movies.
It is, but we are so far from doing that. A lot of what they were talking about in the conference was, oh my God, gee whiz, we actually managed to teach a computer to write captions for images. It knows there's a dog in that picture. And I'm like, yeah, so do my kids.
Can we do that? Can we get that in our system?
What?
Caption writing AI?
But they're super, super basic.
Here's a cat?
Yeah, here's a cat. Here's a cat standing in next to a lamp or something like that.
And they're excited about this?
Apparently that has a lot of computational power behind it. However, a lot of the stuff that they're doing in AI right now, kids can do. So that's the problem is that when it comes to math, machines are so much better than people, but when it comes to very basic certain things that we can do just intuitively, it's still a long way to go. So let's not get too scared of machines quite yet.
All right, but don't you think with sort of the exponential growth and progress of AI, this stuff is going to happen sooner than you think?
It could, and I think that this partnership really points to that. But I think the partnership also points to the fact that this is such a big issue that's why they're combining together. That's why they're combining their powers and becoming super friends, because no single one of these guys can do it on their own at this point.
And just to be clear, this is a non-profit organization. They're not colluding here. They're just they're working together to kind of push the AI agenda. Well, they could
be colluding.
We don't know.
Make AI seem friendlier, because I think a lot of people are super suspicious about it already.
And that is part of the point of this whole organization, right? It's to educate people about AI, that it's not about taking our jobs.
Re-education farms where a robot will tell you why it's good.
All right. Next up, more explosive Samsung news, but no, it's not the Note 7. It's actually select top-loading washing machines that are now prone to not necessarily explode or blow up, but there's a defect that might cause the nuts and bolts and other parts of the machine to fly out at you. So
so bad.
Jeez.
God, it makes me really wish for the Note 7.
They can't catch a break, can they?
Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, what is it? A lot of people have complained that Samsung just seems to rush out certain technologies sometimes.
Right.
That was true. There were some really good stories about how they did that with the Note 7. But with a washing machine, it's not like you need to get like the latest and greatest washing machine. So,
by the way, just to be fair, Samsung has said that there haven't been any reported incidents. This is based off of a lawsuit. But the companies recommend that you use, with affected models, you use a lower speed, delicate cycle when washing bedding, bulky, or water resistant materials. So we'll see. All right, lastly, Tinder introduced a new program, Boost. This is supposed to highlight your profile to other members within half an hour. It's sort of a paid thing. You kind of pay to get
it's like advertising how often
yeah. If you're like really desperate for a booty call, this is what you would use.
To just like, you get like a half hour, like quick hit. So everybody's going to see, more people will see my profile.
So Ben, as a fellow married person, what's your take on this?
I think it's great. If I want an immediate booty call, this is what I can use. That's sounds like a perfectly reasonable thing.
All right, for more about these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
Thanks for listening.
And cut. I'll start delving into the comments. I like that in the Tinder story, it compares it to lure modules like Pokemon Go.
We didn't have time to get to it during the podcast, but I think Aaron did a really good job of comparing it to Pokemon Go.
Gotta catch them all.
Oh God!
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch all those STDs.
That was a status. That was an answer that you could actually put in as for your status when Tinder rolled out Tinder Social, which is the whole
That's a group dating.
That's a group dating, not group dating, but it's more like groups meeting each other and then hooking up. I don't know.
There was an Always Sunny episode about that. I guess it's like it makes it less awkward when it's like a group of girls meets up with a
using
group
Tinder
of guys or. No, it wasn't Tinder. It was like they made up certain apps like Group Connect or whatever.
I need to see that episode.
It was very, very funny. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that show.
Dennis tried to do a whole group date with a bunch of women. It was just him, so it did not work out very well.
That's so Dennis.
Yeah.
So in the realm of the AI supergroup, who do we really think is kind of leading this charge? Suspicions in the chat say Google's kind of ahead of this game and kind of at the front line, and everyone else is kind of like the supporting act. What do we think?
Yeah, well, we might disagree on this. I actually do think Google's probably on the front line, largely because they're starting to seed the market with so many different smart devices that would theoretically be able to take advantage of Google Assistant, which is their version of a virtual assistant. They've got the whole Nest the Nest products. They've got they'll have Google Home coming out soon. They've got phones. They've got Chromecast. They've got Chromecast for TV, for speakers. There's all these little elements in the home that they've already kind of got, and all they really need to do is like flip a switch and bring AI to all of them, right?
And they have DeepMind, which is their research group.
Right.
So that is obviously something that is benefiting them. However,
plus, wait, they also make loads and loads of money off of search, right? Search is sort of their core business, and they can funnel all that money into AI research. And that's something that few companies can really match, right?
Yes, and Google is obviously buzzier than some of those other names, but I wouldn't discount IBM and Microsoft. I think they have an enormous amount of like engineering power, and so they have been developing a lot of different types of AI technology. With Watson, which is the IBM one, that's a little bit more business to business, so we don't tend to focus on that as much. But I think that there's
we've definitely seen sort of the healthcare
around
applications for Watson, right? In terms of like cancer research.
They're studying like weather predictions and stuff like that. So I do think that they have been putting a lot of effort into Watson.
And Microsoft did announce today separately that they're forming their own AI research group, putting behind there's like 2,000 engineers into this organization to really propel AI within the organization.
Yeah, I would actually argue that Amazon is probably a latecomer, as far as I can tell. I mean, they've been doing a lot more with Alexa, but before Alexa, I don't know that they were really all that well known for AI.
I'm really surprised you said that about Amazon, with given the prevalence of Echo and Alexa.
But that came out in like 2014, so I
Right,
can't imagine
right.
that their team is as big as like Microsoft or IBM or Google.
True.
I might be wrong about that,
But
because
it's funny thing is probably the one that most like consumers
Mm-hmm.
would relate to, right? That Alexa is the one they probably use more often than any of the others, right? Even Siri.
Really? You think so?
Like, who uses Siri?
I don't know. I use Siri.
Or
a
they
lot.
use Siri for
I
like
yell at
very
Siri a
basic
lot.
tasks. You
Yeah.
really,
Yeah,
Daddy,
yeah.
Siri.
Well, okay.
Listen to me.
Okay, Google is something that I'm sure a lot of people use. I would imagine.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a question.
Not a question, but Jack in the comments says Skynet is among us. Buckledized says E-Corp, Evil Corp from Mr. Robot.
Nice.
Okay.
And
Well
Dash Yanth is asking, is this like the movie Her?
Yes.
Oh yeah, kind
Yes.
If they if they bring this Tinder thing into the AI fold with
Ooh.
Google, Facebook, we might be having some
We
creepy
could have a mashup
new...
of all those three stories.
So what was interesting that I heard about in the conferences is that there was I think it was a Chinese and Japanese version of Tay that came out. Microsoft had developed this thing called Xiao Ice.
Yes, I
And,
think it came out before Tay.
It did.
Yeah.
And it's been around for like 2 years.
Yeah.
It has about 40 million users, and it's like this chatbot. And what's interesting about it is that it has like emotional support functions. So folks have been known to like talk to Xiao Ice for like, I don't know, like almost an hour or something like
Wow.
that. And, I guess it's a good listener. It's not like it's really like...
There are a lot of lonely
it's not
people
like
out
a
there.
It's not a super powerful AI. Like
Right.
some of it is just like a little bit of like tricks of like actually understanding, like if you say this, like, like we'll program it to say that.
Have you tried having a conversation with Google Assistant yet?
No.
On Allo?
I couldn't even figure out how, but it didn't. It was like, well, I'll tell you the weather if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
We tried. Lynn, did you read Lynn's story?
Oh yeah. Yes.
She tried breaking up with someone via and then getting auto responses.
See, that's what I'm trying to say is that
Yeah.
like AI, it sounds so scary, but it's really like there's so much more to go, and ultimately it's like after decades of research, we really haven't improved that much of it.
Right.
Everybody keeps expecting it to like go up all of a sudden, but it's still taking a much longer time than I think people realize.
Thank you, Tech Pro. We love you too.
Oh,
Okay.
All right, right on.
Hey, so I just got to thinking, the washing machine, don't we have one of those at the smart home?
I believe so.
Should we call and see if they're okay?
Oh, I think Megan.
They haven't been answering, so I don't know. No.
Smart
Megan
home,
wrote the
contact
story.
us. We want to know you're
Louisville.
safe.
And send Bourbon if you're okay. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
Just
Why
send
not?
bourbon. They're in Kentucky. Yeah.
Well, not too much going on in the chat today.
Okay. All right.
Might as
Yeah.
well just
Good
call it
place.
an early week.
Yeah, good place to stop
I'm
right there.
totally fine with that. I'll go take
right.
a nap somewhere.
It's been a long week here, and we thank everyone for joining us.
Yeah, it's going to be a big week next week. We've got
We've
Google.
got Google on Tuesday.
Google on Tuesday. We've got Oculus on Thursday. We're going to have a lot to talk about. So check back with us next week. If you liked anything you saw or heard here, check us out on CNET.com. Our podcast is also available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Feedly, and Google Play. So
Happy New Year, everybody.
that's right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, folks. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.